Hey everyone, Joe here. In today's video, we're going to be unboxing and testing the brand new Superbox S6 Ultra. Let's get into it. So Superbox did reach out to me. They sent this to me for free. This is not a sponsored video. They don't get to see the video before you do. And all the thoughts that you're going to see and hear in this video are of my own. Our main mission today, I think, is to see if the live TV function on this box works as advertised, but then as always, I'd like to figure out who this product is actually for. Is it for me? Is it for you? Is it for someone who already has a high-end TV with a built-in smart TV? Or is it for somebody who just canceled cable and got Netflix and Disney Plus and all those services for the first time? I have no idea. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna find out. So let's see what's in the box. This is a 6K box. It's wrapped really well. It feels a lot heavier than it looks, which I always love. So let's just use the scissors here, get into the box here. Don't need that. Come on, baby. Whoa, nice presentation. Feels like an iPhone almost, like when you get a new fancy phone. Whoa, let's open this box up here. This is like the main unit. All right, so here it is. This is the Superbox S6 Ultra. And right out of the box, I'm telling you guys, this has got a little bit of weight to it, which I really appreciate. I like that it's a metal case. I don't see too many things that are made of metal case anymore, but it's like actually metal all the way around, which I love. You see Superbox on the top. The two antennas are pretty firm. They don't flop around, which I like that. Nothing on the bottom except for the rubber feet so it doesn't slide. So on the back here, it looks like we've got SDPIF, which is for your home theater system if you use the optical wire. We've got a network adapter here for plugging in. I can tell with the antennas and from what I've read online, it has Wi-Fi as well, so you can pick one or the other. We're going to be setting up with Wi-Fi today. It's got HDMI out. That's what we're going to use to plug in directly to the back of the TV today. And then it's also got these three other ports. DC for power, which I assume we're gonna open the rest of the box here, but maybe there's a power plug. Right here it's got IR, and that's gonna be for plugging in an extension for infrared remote control. And then here we've got AV, which is gonna be the audio out. Let's see what else we've got in the box here. Whoa! This is a really nice remote. It's all bagged up. Whoa, baby. It's got a lot of buttons. If you're used to a big cable TV with all the buttons and stuff, I think this one's got you covered. Does it have batteries? That's always a huge plus. Looks like it's gonna take 2 AAAs. I don't see batteries in the box, so we will find some AAAs. All right, let me put this cover back on for now. I feel like the controller is pretty light. It doesn't have batteries in it yet. The AAAs aren't going to add too much weight, but I can tell right off the bat it's got built-in TV control as well as all the controls to control the Superbox, I assume. So I'm going to set that here. Also in the box, we've got power adapter for plugging into the wall and the back of the Superbox. We've got, this is a very important, HDMI. I love when I get a new product and it comes with all the cables and everything that I need to set it up. So this HDMI looks like it's, I don't know, about 3 feet or close to 3 feet. Brand new, pretty stiff, looks like a nice high quality cable. I'm excited about that. And then if you guys know me, true to brand, it does come with a user guide. Obviously we're not gonna open that. Let's get this stuff out of the way. Let's get the TV out. I'm gonna show you guys how we set up the TV and then we're gonna do our first test, all right? Oh, hey everyone, I'm back. I did find a couple of batteries for this remote, so I'm gonna go throw those batteries in there, get this baby ready. All right, so I hope you can see here, all the HDMI ports on the TV are right here. The HDMI ports are the ones that are shaped like this, kind of trapezoidal. The square ones, if your TV has square ports that are roughly the same size, those are for USB. This TV does have a USB, and that's for a thumb drive with movies saved on it, or you ever see the little rope lights that people do around the TV? That can power those. So I'm gonna reach forward and because I think that the box could potentially also control the TV or vice versa. There's something called ARC, which you don't have to use this. And so if there's one port on your TV that's labeled as ARC, I would recommend using that one unless it's already busy by something that's using that. I don't use any HDMI on this TV. This is just a Vizio smart TV. I don't plug anything into it because I just stream everything and it's all Wi-Fi and whatever. So I'm gonna pick the ARC port for this HDMI. Now I'm gonna plug the other end of the HDMI into the back of the Superbox right here. Now I'm going to plug in the Superbox and the TV. You can actually leave your TV plugged in if you're setting this up on a TV that's already hooked up. Mine just happens to be unplugged because I just moved it. Got my TV remote because I don't know how to use the TV without the remote. Might not work without the remote. All right, so now we've got the Superbox hooked up with HDMI to the back of the TV. And now we're going to plug power into the back of the Superbox and see if we can fire it up for the first time. First, I'm going to turn on the TV and set the TV to HDMI 1 by hitting the input button on the remote. So we got the TV fired up, and of course just fires up to the home screen for Vizio, which has like all the streaming services that we use, and it's mostly like kid stuff. We have a lot of kid videos on there. Okay, so I'm gonna hit input on the TV, and I'm gonna go to HDMI 1. HDMI 1, there we go. That's gonna go over to the Superbox. This plug only fits in one spot on the back of the Superbox. It says DC, so we're gonna plug that in. Is there a power? There's no power switch on the box itself. It just, oh, look, it says all kinds of stuff. It's firing up. Cool. Box is firing up, and we're gonna get started. Wow, there we go. We're really getting into it now, you guys. Here we go. So Superbox is firing up. Yes. Disclaimer notice. Thank you for choosing Superbox. We're gonna agree to the disclaimers, pick my Wi-Fi. Okay, so I've got the keyboard down here and I need to get the correct remote. Don't mix up your remotes, y'all. I'm gonna put in my password here and I'm just gonna zip past this. I'm gonna cut this so that you guys don't need to see my password. Oh, do I have to point this at the... You have to point the remote at the box. If there's something in front of it, it's not gonna work. Because it uses IR, like a traditional TV remote versus like a lot of the TVs now, they use Bluetooth remotes instead. All right, I got my password all typed in. I've maneuvered my cursor or my box or whatever over to done. I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna connect to the Wi-Fi. Let's see how easy this is. Connecting. Hopefully I typed in my password right and this just works. If it doesn't, that'd be a little embarrassing. I don't have an IP address. It looks like it's still just initializing. Setup. Set your screen. Press up down arrow keys on your remote and click plus minus buttons on the screen until the black borders appear at the edge of the TV screen. Okay, so we're kind of just calibrating the Superbox to fit our display a little bit extra. Press OK to finish. Whoa, here we are. Okay. Looks like we're in. The clock is set. What that tells me is we definitely have an internet connection. Oh, and you can see right here, internet, Bluetooth. I didn't set any Bluetooth up yet, but let's go to live TV because isn't that what we want to check out? I don't know how to do that. Add, or VOD, add, and then it gives me these apps. Everything just says add. App Store, sign in to find the latest Android apps. So there's no apps installed. So we got to go to the App Store. Play Store or App Store? Let's try the App Store. I don't know. Let's try to sign into the Play Store. It's kind of acting like we don't have like a full proper internet connection. So I might have to go back and just double check on if we've got like real internet happening here. Couldn't sign in to the store. Okay, so let's go to Home and then the settings. So I don't understand because it says right there we've got Wi-Fi. I'm going to turn the Wi-Fi off and back on because when all else fails, start turning things off and back on. Okay, so now it says for sure connected. Oh, we're getting some more schedule stuff up here. It looks like more things are starting to work. I don't know what the difference is between Play Store and App Store right now. We're gonna start with App Store. Don't infringe copyright. That's what the warning says. I don't know what any of these are. We can pick one and then click it and then will it give us info or just download it? Let's try the Play Store. Maybe we'll have better luck with the Play Store. You might have to sign into the Play Store actually before you can use the App Store. I just feel like it should just load. I don't know why it's taking so long. We're gonna hit home again. We're gonna double check our internet connection again. Ooh, buddy, there we go. All the stuff that I did before, forget it. Turn on the TV, go to the Play Store first after you set up your Wi-Fi, log in, and then the suite of apps. So right off the bat, I know that I can use HBO Max, without borrowing everyone's passwords. All right, y'all, we've got the HBO Max downloaded. Now we're gonna hit open that baby up. Legal terms. Sign in. I do have a code for this. I'm gonna use my phone to sign in. So we went to the sign in and we're just gonna use our phone to sign in because I've got all my info on there. So let's take a look at this. We're gonna hold the phone over, hit sign in, boom, and then it's gonna open up. Let's watch one thing for a second because I would just wanna see how this all works. Ooh, Bering Sea. Let's just take a look at a quick episode of that. Nome, Alaska, been there, love it. Let's start it up. All right, I'm gonna turn around here and take a look at the picture quality. So I would just say by glancing at the TV here that we're probably not in HD. This TV is not 4K. It's definitely not 6K like this box can supposedly support. It is HD. It doesn't look like it's in HD to me. I'm gonna back out of this here. It's a little bit more pixelated than I would expect HD to look. Okay, so I did just run a speed test on my phone through the Wi-Fi to check the internet speed, and I'm at 195 megs a second. HD on Netflix should only take about 10. So if I've got 15 or 20, I would expect my HD signal to be looking HD. We're gonna go back to the main screen now. I wanna try this live TV pausing thing. And so now that we've got the internet thing situated here, we're gonna go to live TV, add, I don't know. I shouldn't have to think so hard about it, you guys. Let's try the App Store. Try one of those apps that we saw earlier that we couldn't get going. Now that we're logged in. Let's go back up to this playback app and see if we can open it. Alrighty. What do we got here? Whoa, okay, this looks like a live TV app. 90 Day Fiance. I don't know what that is. Let's just take a look. Let's see if that's good. Let's take a look. This is something that was live broadcast earlier today, and we're going to try to play back live TV. Okay, I'm going to remain patient here. Okay, so I'm satisfied that it works. It might not work for sports. It could be that the sports have like a different licensing situation. Let's go back though and try a hockey game one more time. I don't share negative thoughts about a product lightly. I know that tons of people spent time on this, hundreds of thousands of man hours and dollars, and so much thought goes into creating a product and the problems that it's supposed to solve and the people that it's supposed to help. And ultimately, I'm having a really hard time getting past the speed of the Wi-Fi on the Superbox. I troubleshoot it. I mean, I spent over an hour troubleshooting my home network here, making sure that it was nothing on my end. And, you know, I used to fix internet for people for a living. And, you know, also I'm a more advanced user with Android stuff. I mean, back in the day, I used to do custom firmwares on my phone when you could still do that. Right. So, you know, in terms of like skill level, if someone could make this work well, it's probably me. And, you know, short of plugging the box with a hard wire into my router, I've tried about everything that I'm willing to try to make this thing work. And it does work sporadically here and there. It's a great idea. And I really like some of the things that it can do. Some of the features that the Superbox has, I don't have another way of accessing. I don't have live TV. Some of the stuff on here is really cool. Like, I just want to show you one thing. You know, the product is advertised as being able to like pause live TV and things like that. But when you set up the box, and I did take a look at the instructions, I went against brand, and they're very short, and they really just say what's in the box, and they show you how to set up a Wi-Fi connection, and that's it. It doesn't say download this app for pausing live TV. It doesn't say download this app for sports. It doesn't specify that you need to set up and log into the Play Store before you can go into the App Store and download anything. And all those things would have been really helpful. I feel like I'm like discovering a lot. It's fun for me for a little bit, but for someone who doesn't have the patience or like more advanced stuff, that's incredibly frustrating, and I think most folks would have given up by now. One thing I do like is Prime Loops is one of the apps that you can get, and it's really fun because it's all these shows. It's over 2,000 shows, and it just loops a series or an episode, and so you can just go through the list here and pick one, and then it'll start playing. And it is really cool just being able to do that. And then you can bounce over and do full screen, and you know, it'll tell you what episode, what season it is, but you can't pause, fast forward, rewind on this. But you know, for like backgrounding, or like if you're in the office or something, I think it's really cool. It just plays. So I love that. Some of the Prime apps worked really well, and you know, minus the internet speed issue, some of them are really cool. So I'd love to show you guys the Prime TV and VOD app. This gives you the option to watch live TV, movies, or a series, and then the series is video on demand, so it's not like Prime Loops. You can pick the episode that you'd like to start playing and play it from the beginning. So let's just take a look at the live TV. It sorts things out really well. It seems to be working pretty quick right now. And it sorts everything by news and, you know, etc. We're going to go to, I don't know. Let's just go to the news and see what BBC looks like. So you go to BBC, it gives you a little bit of a guide of like what's playing on that channel, and then you can bounce over, and if I highlight the box that the video is playing in and say okay, then it'll full screen it, and then it'll play. And like I said, it's skippy. Like, I want to say that it's a really cool product, and I think it is cool, but it's got to work. And it can't require so much expertise to set up. If I was to make a suggestion to Superbox on how to improve the product, I would probably say that the Wi-Fi needs to work, because it's not. And I would also say that you need some pre-installed apps, because it's just too many hoops to jump through to figure things out. And short of getting on YouTube and reading Reddit and things like that, you know, I didn't even know where to start. And so I just downloaded apps, and it takes 5, 6, 7 minutes to download each app just to determine whether it whether it works or not, and what it does, because there's no info on the apps until you download the app. And so as you can see here, it's trying to play. It plays for a second, and you know, it's just the internet speed is just not working very well. And like I said, it's not on my end. You know, all of my devices work. And just to share some of the troubleshooting steps that I went through, I have 2 different SSIDs on my router. I shut off one, and I tried both with the Superbox. I shut off all of my other Wi-Fi devices in the entire house. That didn't make a big speed improvement. There is a speed test app that I was able to download on the Superbox, and my phone was saying that I'm getting pretty consistently 190 to 200 megabits a second. And the Superbox said that I was getting 16. A couple times it said 20, but also a couple times it said 9. So while 8, 9 megabits a second should be fast enough to stream, it must not be a consistent speed, because it's just, as you can see, it's just rebuffering kind of constantly. And you know, it's a real disappointment, because it is a fun, exciting product, and just being able to have so much freedom to watch what I want to watch when I want to watch it, and have access to all of these channels that I don't have another way to see. It's a really fun, if it worked, it'd be great. It'd be really, really fun. I think the device itself is pretty fast. I think that it's well built, like I shared. It's not overheating or anything like that. It did work just by plugging it into the TV. I didn't have any weird stuff with the TV to do outside of changing input. So there were a lot of positives. You know, at the beginning of the video, I said that we would figure out who this device was for and who it wasn't for. And so I will say that if you are a hobbyist and you like the Android platform or you want to learn more about it, it's a great device for you. If you are determined to get live streaming TV and potentially pause live TV, and maybe you're in an area where you can't get TV another way, then spend the time and figure this box out, because I think that it is a really powerful tool. If you have a TV like mine where you've got Netflix built in, Amazon Prime Video, HBO Max, all those other things, and you're just looking for a device that can also do that, maybe pass on this one. If you're just coming over from using cable TV and using your cell phone is a little bit challenging for you sometimes because you're just not advanced, probably skip this device. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you got anything from today's video, please make sure that you like and subscribe. If you tried a Superbox or a similar product, I'd love to hear about your experience down below in the comments. And if you think that I just did a horrible review on this and didn't really test it as well as I should have, I'd love to hear that too, because I do want to do better. I do want to give Superbox the benefit of the doubt, and I really pushed to do that today. All right, thanks for tuning in. If you got anything from today's video, please like and subscribe down below, and you have a good one.